Well, Facebook's disastrous week is continuing to get even worse thanks to yet another scandal. In 2012, it turns out, the company handed over user data to Barack Obama's presidential campaign, and in doing so may have violated the law. Fox News 24/7 headlines anchor Brett Larson has more on that. Brett, what do you know?
Hey, Tucker. Yeah, not a good week to be Facebook, basically. What we're finding out today is there's reports that in 2012, they may have just given user data to the Barack Obama campaign. There were reports in the Daily Mail that the former person who ran the Facebook campaign for Barack Obama, the social media for him, that someone at Facebook said, "We're giving this to you because we agree with you." Of course, giving them that information for free would be a violation of the federal campaign finance laws, because that would be a violation of rather direct or indirect giving of. They're basically giving a campaign donation in that situation, and you can't do that in federal elections, so both for the president and for Congress. Then we're also learning today that Hillary Clinton's name coming up once again, now connected to all the problems with Facebook, that the app she was using during the 2016 campaign, and they were encouraging people to connect with their friends, that they may have been going through your contacts list and doing that illegally and taking the data of their users to encourage people to vote for Hillary Clinton, to try and find people that they could persuade to be voters. Not very good news for Facebook all around, and this is all in light of the problems that they're having with the Cambridge Analytica story that we've been following for the past couple of weeks, with the 50 million users and the data that was taken from them. And then this very, I think, damning piece of information. BuzzFeed's reporting on this, a former Facebook executive saying something about what their site does and how they connect people. And he, in part, says about Facebook, anything that allows us to connect more people more often is de facto good, despite the fact that they had concerns that doing this could even allow someone to coordinate a terrorist attack or even expose someone to bullying. So, Tucker, it is a bad week to be Facebook.
Yeah, and it should be. And I'm glad that other people are paying attention to this now, not just us. Brett, thank you for that.
Thanks, Tucker.
Hans von Spakovsky is a former member of the Federal Election Commission. He's a senior legal fellow with the Heritage Foundation in Washington, and he joins us tonight. Hans, thanks for coming on.
Sure.
So if it turns out that the Obama campaign received this data, that would be an in-kind contribution, correct?
It is, because it's very valuable data. And in fact, the former media director for the Obama campaign said that Facebook actually came to their offices and said, well, we don't normally give this data out, but we're going to let you have it because we favor your campaign. That turns it into potentially an illegal corporate contribution.
Well, how would that not be illegal? How would that not be a crime?
Well, you know, if they made this data available to anybody who wants it, well, then, of course, any campaign could get it. But the fact that they specifically had rules against this does make it an in-kind contribution. Contrast this with what they did with Cambridge Analytica. Remember, Cambridge Analytica, when they found out about this, they went to Cambridge Analytica and said, you need to destroy this data. You're not supposed to have it. And that tells you that in the one case, they let the campaign have it. In another case, they were saying, well, no, you're not supposed to have this data.
So Facebook, but also Google and Twitter and Apple, the big tech companies, could easily throw an election, and we wouldn't know it. And so we should be terrified of this. I don't think we're terrified enough. But what is the U.S. Congress, what are the appropriate agencies in the executive branch doing to make sure that these huge companies, who have more power than any companies have ever had in human history, are remaining transparent? I mean, we're certain this is not happening. What are they doing to reassure us of that?
Well, for example, in the case of the Obama campaign, potentially getting a corporate contribution, which is illegal, that ought to be investigated by the Federal Election Commission, where I used to be a commissioner, because it's a potential violation of federal law. No idea whether they are going to open up investigation. Potentially, also, the U.S. Justice Department could investigate it, because if it was an intentional and knowing violation of the law, that takes it from being a civil violation to a criminal violation. So both of those federal agencies have potential jurisdiction over this. So far, no one has said at any of those agencies that they're going to open up an investigation. That's what they ought to do, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, if you have lunch with any of your friends, encourage them.
I will do that.